This is the biggest scandal in American history, or at least one of the biggest scandals in American history. And there's a good chance that it impacts people you know, or maybe even you, and you've never even heard of this scandal. My name is Justin Haskins. I'm a New York Times bestselling author and the writer of a new book called The Next Big Crash. In that book, I lay out a decades long conspiracy, not a conspiracy theory, but a conspiracy fact to take rights away from tens of millions of Americans to centralize wealth and power and control in the hands of a relatively small group of institutions, and all without most people ever realizing that it's happening. And that's just scratching the surface of what's in the next big crash. Let me give you just a small taste of what this book is about. You see, decades ago, large institutions got together and decided, it would be a good idea if we centralized the ownership, the direct registered ownership of all securities investments in America. By securities investments, I'm talking about stocks, bonds, the things that you think of when you think of Wall Street, including the investments in your retirement account. Let's centralize the ownership of these things. And then regular people, well, they won't own the stocks and bonds and other investments directly. They'll own something called the Securities Entitlement Agreement. It's basically just a contract. Now, that contract gives you rights to the underlying investments. So when you go buy stock of some company, you do have some rights, but those rights are limited to what the law says and what's in the contract that you've signed. Now, here's the ingenious part. If everything is going perfectly fine, well, then there's nothing to worry about. But what happens when there is a big crash? Well, we're going to find out perhaps someday. Because behind the scenes, while no one was paying attention, these big institutions created all of these safeguards and emergency powers laws and other things that could be used in the next big crash to prop themselves up at your expense because you don't directly own the investments that you bought and paid for. It is an incredible scandal, and that's just the beginning. Even crazier is the story of how all of this came about. Huge players could be involved. We don't have all the details, but I lay it out in the book, including the CIA, the Rockefeller family, and all kinds of other incredibly powerful individuals. This is an incredible story, and you won't regret checking it out. So please get The Next Big Crash by Justin Haskins. You can get the print version of the book and the audiobook in January 2026, wherever you get your books. Or if you pre-order now on Amazon.com, you can get the Kindle version of the book in December 2025.